Getting bullied is a fun time. Just kidding. No, it's not. I got bullied a lot, in person and online. So I grew up doing musical theater, and in middle school, people started treating me really bad just because I was into theater. And then especially my stuff on the internet, people started treating me awful. I remember walking through the hallways, people saying things that I can't repeat now, and shoving me, threatening my life enough so to a point where when the death threats in school started really picking up, I had to ultimately leave. Um, I had to ultimately leave school. But my lunch would be taken on a day-to-day basis. I think that's something that I want to touch on is because when you're being bullied, you feel so powerless. I mean, my lunch would be taken like every single day. It was every single day. It was like a routine. I would just hand over my lunch. I don't know how, it doesn't even seem real to me now that I actually was in that situation. You see it in the movies and you're like, oh, that probably doesn't happen. It does. I couldn't believe it, I don't really remember how it started, but I just remember every single day I'd hand over my lunch that my mom made me to some kids that had the power over me. And one day there was a kid who stood up for me, and he said, he was like, dude, you can't let them take your lunch. And he was kind of friends with them, and he was like, hey, you got to stop taking his lunch. And they kind of listened when he was around, but other than that, they kept doing it. It's just crazy, dude. I wouldn't eat lunch. Like, sometimes I wonder, like, okay, I go a long time without eating some days because I'm so focused on work. But I'm not sure how much of this is just because, like, these, like, patterns that I've been used to or accustomed to. I mean, you feel so powerless when your lunch gets taken every day. You get shoved in the hallway, you get called names. For some reason inside, I said, I'm going to keep doing whatever I'm doing. I don't know what it was that made me hold on and continue. It was like this deep belief that I was doing something that was worth the time. And at the time, it didn't succeed or anything like that. And then fast forward, I'm on the internet. It starts kind of taking off. I drop a song called Sweatshirt, and I had been to two different schools, got bullied out of both of those schools. In the second school, I switched to a private school because I thought, okay, this school's going to be flexible. It's a smaller class, and it ended up being so much worse. Uh, all these kids are like, my dad has a Bentley. Well, my dad has an electric scooter, and my dad has this. It's like, bruh, it was just such like a weird environment. I grew up in public schools, so to go to a private school at that time was just insanity. I hated it. Um, and I just didn't really fit in at all. And people there were actually more rude in a way. There was less physical bullying there, but a lot of like just mean comments. And somebody hacked my somebody hacked my computer and logged into my school thing and started sending out threats to other kids at the school, and I had to go to the principal's office and explain, hey, you got to find where that was logged in from because it wasn't me. So people were harassing me all the time. I was getting hacked, getting blamed for things I didn't do. It was literally the most toxic environment. I was only there for like a month or two. I remember putting in my headphones in class and thinking to myself, I won't need school very much longer. And at that time, it's a crazy coincidence, but Cameron Dallas DM'd me one day on my way to lunch. Hey man, how are you? And I was a huge fan of his vines, and that's ultimately how I got on MagCon. So I guess what I'm trying to say is in those moments where you feel hopeless and you feel, I don't know how this is going to work out, but I know it will, something crazy can happen that you just don't expect. I would have never expected. I thought that was fake. I remember hopping on FaceTime with Cameron and him being like, hey, I'm bringing back MagCon. You want to hop on? And uh, that ultimately was like an amazing moment in my life. Went on to drop Sweatshirt, and when I dropped Sweatshirt, the hate really picked up, online. But I had already dealt with it in person, so it never really fazed me. And I think through all of this, it's made me a really strong person, and it's allowed me to learn more about myself, because when you don't have other people to rely on, you have to go inward, and you have to learn to appreciate yourself, you know? it can either wreck you or it can either make you an absolute beast. You know, if you're in a room of 10 people, they all say, "Oh, I hate this person." You either go, "Yeah, maybe they're right," or you go, "No, I don't agree, and I'll show you why." And not that you have to show anybody anything, but I think it's important to remember that, people hate on other people because of many different reasons. And you've probably heard a million people say it, oh, they're jealous of you, but it's true. You know, a lot of people talk smack about somebody, will bully them because of just insecurity. And then it's kind of funny because as you get older, you start to realize that, okay, they were trying to like figure out who they were, and that's how they did it. It's not saying that's the right way. But I've met a lot of people that were like, dude, I used to hate you and you're actually awesome now. And so there is part of it that's just like an immaturity thing. And so for anybody that's going through bullying, just know that it's not going to last forever. Don't back down. Stand your ground. And you do have power, and you're not worthless, and you're worth a lot. And the people who are bullying you, you know, most likely if they don't change that mindset, they're going to go on to have a miserable life. So, you know, that's kind of up to them, Do they want to have a miserable life and just keep bringing down others, but in that process also just be miserable? Or maybe they'll come back around and you might get an apology from some people you never expected to. But yeah, I mean, I still deal with internet bullies all the time, I'll post a video. Not many people hate on my music anymore, which is cool, and excited for all the music stuff. And I just know it's going to be big. And soon everyone will be listening to the music, as crazy as that sounds. But, but I'll post a video, and there's still haters, bro. The internet's like middle school in a weird way. It's just like immature and a lot of toxic people, but that's kind of like a quick recap of my experience with bullying. I've been through the in-person bullying. I've been through the online bullying. And what I've learned is that, I've learned to never let it, change my perspective of myself and just keep moving forward. At times, it's been taking a huge toll on my mental health. But I always have to remind myself, why am I doing the things I'm doing? Okay, my side of things is coming from a good place. Their side's coming from a bad place. Who's in the right, who's in the wrong? I'd say me. Because I do this to inspire. I do this for my love of music. I do this to make people laugh. I do this to connect with people. And then what are they doing it for? To try to bring somebody down. Okay, you just have to remind yourself that. And don't take it personal, I've been responding to a lot of hate comments with the mirror emoji because oftentimes the things that people say to you, they're really just saying about themselves, But yeah, that's my experience. Much love. Be nice to people, all right?